Hey folks, Bill here from Survival Lore. Thank you for joining me today. Going to go over another video for you. Today we're out for a hike here in the Laurel Highlands, western Pennsylvania. And I wanted to go over a couple of things and address a few things and show you what I'm carrying. So recently you saw my video on the Moore's Pot survival kit with the Miro kettle. And I had quite a few comments saying that that pot was unrealistic because it's too big to carry. In a backpack nonetheless. So I wanted to kind of dispel that and go over a few things. That is not an ultralight setup. That's not the kind of setup it is for you. It is a minimalist setup, but it is not ultralight. I find it hard to believe that when I see people say that pot's not practical to carry, that they've spent much time in the woods, let alone camping or doing that kind of thing. Most pots are circular. It's not a very big pot generally. That was a very reasonable sized pot. So I wanted to go over that and show you what I'm carrying today. So today I just have my Frost River XL cell bag. Mind you, I don't want to lose my mic. Sorry guys, I'm probably destroying your ears. I apologize for that. I'm carrying a shell bag. I'm not carrying a big backpack. I'm simply carrying a Haversack today. So I'm going to change the camera real quick, set some stuff down over here, and we'll go through what's in this. Hey folks, we're back here. So I repositioned the camera, set my bag right there on the log, and we're going to go over the contents. One thing I do want to talk about before we start is the trappings of packing everything in the kitchen sink in our kits. This kit right here is built on the predicated on the idea that I'm going out for a short day hike. Plan on being a few hours and going back to the car heading home. This is not something I'm taking out into the deep wilderness. I'm not going out miles and miles and miles out to where I don't have cell service or anything like that. This kit here is a kit that will allow you to, when you're out on a day hike and something happens and you're running late, you're too far gone and you're taking an impromptu night in the woods in the winter. This kit's going to provide for that and allow you to have a good, nice sleep and a comfortable night in the woods. So we'll crack into it, go over it, and I hope everything in here, I hope this is helpful to some people. I hope it shows that carrying a Moore's Pot survival style kit is not overly cumbersome or unrealistic. So let's crack into it. So I'm going to set this back a little farther. So you guys, it's winter, so I am wearing my Frost River Great Northern Choppers. And with that, I always have a pair of wool liners with them. This is in case it gets extra cold, or if my hands get too warm, I can just toss these on, wear them, or wear them under the actual mittens themselves for extra warmth. First up, I have my poncho. You guys have seen this in a couple other videos. This is just a nylon poncho with grommets. Having this with a couple candles in the pack allows me to set up a Palmer furnace if I need to warm up. It gives me some options. If it starts sleeting, snowing heavy, throw this on. It's going to keep my gear, my coat, myself dry. So we always want to carry a poncho whenever possible. And I'll try and set these here for you, but I want to keep some space open. Right here, I have a couple 4 ABS tent stakes. Yes, I could carry aluminum or titanium. I carry these because they have a bigger footprint. There's much more meat to them, and in the snow, it allows me to provide a better anchor, even if I want to put them in sideways and bury them, pack them down. That's why I go with the ABS in this instance, and they're very lightweight. Yes, they're not titanium, but they are bigger. They provide more surface area to cover and provide a better anchor for when we're setting up a shelter if we would need to. Next up, we just have my small clean canteen. I believe this is a 12 ounce bottle. I'm a firm believer you don't need to carry a big, huge water bottle with you. Just have one that's adequate. And for me, I've found that this is about as adequate as I need. It's not that I never carry a bigger one. This is just my go-to generally. We'll stick this over here. Next up, you guys have seen this. This is my Tough Possum Gear XL survival scarf. Number of uses, of course, being used as a scarf. You can use it to use as an improvised bandage, sling, whatever it may be. A ground pad, you can fill this with leaves, use it as a browse bed. Number of uses, I always have these in my kits, whether it's the XL or the normal size. I prefer the XL, so that's normally what you're going to see me carrying. So, first aid kit. This isn't the big trauma first aid kit. This is just a kit that I'm taking out with me in case of an emergency. I have everything in here to cover small band-aids, cuts, scrapes. I have a pair of hot hands, an emergency blanket if something should happen, some allergy pills, band-aids, and stuff to cover the minor stuff. And then I always have a tourniquet with me. Whatever happens, I have tools with me. I want to have the ability to stop an extremity bleed, so we always have a tourniquet. The one thing this doesn't have that I should probably add to it is a compressed gauze in case of an injury that's not on an extremity. You have something on your stomach, on a bicep, somewhere that it's harder to get a tourniquet on. So I will be adding a compressed gauze that I thought I did. It's just not in there right now, so that's something to keep in mind. That's our first aid kit here. And this is a Tough Possum piggyback pouch and the tourniquet wing. My Possibles pouch, this has small bits and bobs in it, little pieces. Remember, this isn't a comprehensive kit. This is just my day hike kit to cover the necessities if I should find myself having to stay the night by accident. We have a headlamp, fire starters, matches, cordage, silky pocket boy, have a sharpening stone, some duct tape, headlamp, cotton bandana, pocket bellows, and a hot hands. I have multiple hot hands in this kit because it is winter. Having that, being able to provide that dexterity for your fingers, warming them up and making you able to work, that is a huge addition to your kit. So you always have hot hands, and most of the time multiple packs of them. So last couple things in here. I am just carrying a neck knife on me, but today I did bring my Dead Pine Knife Scoundrel in ABL. This has been my my main user the last few weeks. This was gifted me by a buddy of mine, Skylar at Penn Bushcraft, between him and Matt at Dead Pine Knives. And I love this thing. This is about as perfect of a blade for me for what I do. It is a very nice saber grind, very fine point, and the ABL has impressed me. I didn't know this is my first experience with it. It has been very tough, a very good steel to hold an edge, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So this is still being put to use, being tested, and I thought I'd share that with you. So that's my knife, my fixed blade I'm carrying to do some firewood processing today. And lastly, guess what, guys? We got our mirror pot in the bag. Yeah, that's the full mirror pot with all the trappings in there for a Moore's Kochanski super shelter. We have 550 cord. I have 3 candles here. Have a space blanket. We have our painter's drop cloth. There is a roll of duct tape buried in there. That way we can connect the emergency blanket to the painter's cloth. And then we have an SOL heat sheets bivvy. This is our ability to melt snow and our ability to create a warm shelter should we have to stay overnight. You can see this fits very easily into this shell bag, and we have clearly a ton of space left over. It is not a very cumbersome pot. It does not weigh a lot. It is in fact a very small footprint for what you can provide if you're putting a kit together like that. That's a reason I do advocate for them for people who are just getting into it and who want to explore trying these ideas out and practicing skills. You don't have to necessarily carry a backpack in order to carry something like a Moore's Pot survival kit. So I wanted to show that. And last thing up here I forgot to show is my primary ferro rod. You have seen this before. It's just the one I had put together from an elk antler. I always carry that in here. So that's it, guys. Remember, this kit's meant to be pretty minimalist. I've talked about it in another video recently. I'm trying to get away from the trappings that a lot of people fall into. When I post these videos, it's you can add this, that, and the other thing to it. The truth is, most of the time we don't need those. You can get by with very minimal kit for the most part, especially if you're well planned and know your circumstances. Spending a night in the woods isn't that big of a deal. It doesn't have to be. It can be if you're not prepared. If you're not prepared, it can kill you. 100% this time of year, you can die out here. But with minimal preparations and minimal skills, you can turn what could be a deadly situation into a nice, fun overnight camp. And that's kind of the idea behind this kit. We can put together the Moore's shelter. I can run a Palmer furnace if it's not raining. I can just huddle up, put a small browse bed together with the Tough Possum Gear survival scarf, sit on it, sit on my bag if I have to. With the Palmer furnace, we got a number of options here we can run. But I wanted to keep that in mind and something to show you that we don't have to have all those intricate doodads, all the bells and whistles. You can get by on minimal gear, even in the winter. This is just an XL shell bag. It's not the biggest thing, and we fit a fairly comprehensive kit in there. We have first aid, water, shelter, fire, signaling with the headlamp, whatever it may be. So, and in here I do have my storm whistle and signal mirror. They're just sitting at the bottom of that bag. So that's it, guys. I wanted to go over with that real quick, show you guys that, yeah, I do disagree wholeheartedly that this is a cumbersome setup. Clearly it fits in a shoulder bag fairly easily. So for what it's worth, I wanted to show that. So thank you, folks. I really do appreciate the continued support. I posted this is getting back to the kit videos after on New Year's posting the Bigfoot story. I am surprised how that took off. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere because it's not something I normally do. So normally those videos kind of just fizzle out, and that's what I expected. I expected to put it out there for the couple people who wanted to see, but it's kind of going pretty good so far. So that's a pleasant surprise, and I welcome all my new subscribers. If this kind of stuff is new to you, please feel free to ask questions. We're all pretty welcoming here. Love to have the discussions and talk about what we do and what we don't do. So thank you again, guys, for the continued support. All the new subscribers, I appreciate all of you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you wouldn't mind, please like and share, subscribe. All that makes me making these videos that more easy. Provides us with a little more resources to go out, get the gear, try out, test out, and show you guys. So thank you. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.